Good day, everyone. I hope that everybody feels good right now. And today I will be discussing the theme of the story The Virgin by Kerima Polotan. So without further ado, let's proceed to the first theme, which is gender expectation. So in Kerima Polotan's story, The Virgin, gender expectation plays a significant role in shaping the characters' lives and interaction. The protagonist, Miss Miharis, a 34-year-old woman who has remained unmarried, which is unusual in her cultural context. This status subjects her to societal scrutiny and a personal frustration. Under gender expectation, we have Miss Mihara's societal pressure on women to marry. So in this story, there is an implicit expectation that women should marry and start a family by a certain age, right? Miss Mihara's unmarried status is a source of internal and external conflict, reflecting societal expectations of women's roles, primarily as wives and mothers. The second one is the career versus personal life. So in the story, Miss Mihares has dictated herself to her career, partly as a defense mechanism against her unmet personal desires. Like her professional success and efficiency mask her emotional loneliness and the societal judgment she faces for not fulfilling the traditional rule expected of her as a woman. For conclusion, The Virgin delves deeply into the constraint imposed by gender expectation on individuals, particularly women. Miss Mihara's character embodies the tension between societal norms and a personal fulfillment, highlighting often restrictive and oppressive rules. So the story is a poignant exploration of the impact of this expectation on personal identity and happiness. So that's all. And now let's proceed to the second theme of the story The Virgin, which is familial obligation. So this plays a crucial theme to that significantly shapes the life and choices of the protagonist, Miss Mihares. So her sense of duty towards her family profoundly influences her personal and professional decision, creating a complex interplay between responsibility and self-sacrifices. Under familial obligation, which is care for her ailing mother. So in the story, Miss Mihara's primary familial obligation towards her ailing mother, her sense of duty to care for her mother has significantly impacted her life choices, including her decision to remain a single. So this commitment highlights the traditional expectation for daughters, especially the eldest, no? Like they are the one who take care or giving rules within the family. So the second one is sacrifice of personal desires. So in the story, Miss Mihara's obligation to her family often comes at the expense of her own personal desires and happiness. So her responsibilities prevent her from pursuing romantic relationship and fulfilling her own needs. So this self-sacrifice is a pregnant aspects of her character, illustrating the heavy burden of family duty. In conclusion, the theme of familial obligation in The Virgin underscores the profound impact that family responsibilities can have on an individual's life choices and happiness. So Miss Mihara's character is a poignant example of how this obligation can lead to significant personal sacrifice, internal conflict, and unfulfilled desires. So the story offers a deep exploration of the cost of familial duty, particularly for women within a cultural context that emphasizes traditional family rules and responsibilities. The last but not the least is the illusions of love. So this also plays a significant role in the emotional and psychological landscape of the protagonist, Miss Mihares. So this theme is intricately woven into the narrative, revealing how unfulfilled desires and societal pressure can create a distorted perception of love and intimacy. Under the illusions of love, which is unfulfilled desires. So in the story, Miss Mihares, a 34-year-old woman, has lived a life devoid of romantic relationships, largely due to her familial obligation and societal expectations. So her yearning for love and companionship remain unfulfilled, no, creating a fertile ground for illusion to take root. So this deep-seated loneliness makes her susceptible to mistaking fleeting interaction for genuine affection. The second one is the projection of feelings. So in the story, the arrival of the carpenter in Miss Mihare's life sparks a series of emotional responses. So despite their limited interactions, she begins to project her long suppressed feelings and desires onto him. So this projection is driven more by her internal needs than by any substantial connection with the carpenter. The third one is misinterpretation of signals. So throughout this story, Miss Mihares misinterprets the carpenter's action and behavior as sign of mutual attraction. So her mind or her imagination fills in the gaps by their brief encounters, leading her to believe that there is a potential for a romantic relationship. So this misinterpretation underscores the illusionary nature of her feelings. And for the conclusion, the theme of the illusions of love in the story The Virgin highlights the complex interplay between personal longing, societal expectation, and emotional vulnerability. So Miss Mihare's experience is a poignant illustration of how unfulfilled desires can lead to the creation of an illusionary love, which ultimately may not withstand the realities of her life. The story serves as a commentary on the emotional consequences of societal pressures and the deep human need for connection and affection, even when it is based on illusions. The overall theme of the story The Virgin by Kerima Polotan, we have first, gender expectation. The second one, familial obligation. And the third one is the illusions of love. So I hope you learned something about the theme of the story The Virgin by Kerima Polotan. So that's all, and have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.